It all started with a lie, the kind that sounded like a joke but landed like a grenade. Song Yeon-woo stood in front of Jung Woo-bin in the hallway behind the gym, arms crossed, lips pressed together like she was trying not to lose her nerve. "I want you to pretend to be my boyfriend." Woo-bin, leaning against the wall with a lollipop in his mouth and his school jacket half on, raised an eyebrow. "And why would I do that?" She glanced around. No one was close enough to hear. "To make someone jealous." He grinned, slow and crooked. "Let me guess, your pretty ex finally realized what he lost." Yeon-woo said nothing. That was answer enough. Joon, perfect uniform, perfect smile, perfect lies. He had been her everything, until he broke up with her, claiming she was too intense and bad for his image. Now he was back on campus, looking like a clean-cut prince. And Yeon-woo felt like a discarded accessory. Wasn't about to cry about it. She was going to make him watch her be wanted, so? She asked, tilting her head. "Are you in?" Woo-bin pushed off the wall and walked toward her, close enough for her to smell the faint trace of mint and rebellion. "I'll play your fake boyfriend," he said, voice low. "But only if I get to do it my way." Yeon-woo blinked. "What does that mean?" He leaned closer, his smile wicked. "It means I'm not faking the attitude." That afternoon, rumors flew faster than texts. Song Yeon-woo, the girl every guy tried to flirt with, was suddenly holding hands with Jung Woo-bin, the school's certified troublemaker. She laughed at his dumb jokes. He threw an arm around her shoulders in the cafeteria. They argued in the hallway, only to make up seconds later with an exaggerated forehead kiss. Joon watched it all from across the room. He didn't blink, didn't smile, didn't look away. Yeon-woo caught the flicker in his eyes. It was working. She leaned into Woo-bin more. He didn't push her away. But then something weird happened. At the end of the day, they walked home together, still playing the part. She tripped over a crack in the sidewalk. Woo-bin caught her by the wrist. She laughed, brushing her hair back. "Wow. You're good at this." "At catching girls who fake fall?" "At pretending to care." He glanced at her. There was a pause, then he said, "Maybe I'm not pretending." The words hung in the air like smoke. She blinked, but before she could answer, he changed the subject. "Where does your ex hang out after school?" The next day, they staged a scene outside the school gates. Woo-bin picked her up by the waist. She squealed a little too genuinely and slapped his shoulder. He laughed out loud, spinning her once. Joon walked past. Didn't speak, but his jaw clenched hard enough to crack teeth. Later that evening, Yeon-woo scrolled through her messages. Joon had texted, "You look happy. Is that for real?" She stared at the screen, didn't reply, but her heart raced. That was all the confirmation she needed. The plan was working, right? What she didn't expect was to start feeling confused, because Woo-bin, the boy who was supposed to be all bark and no heart, started doing things that weren't part of the deal. He brought her coffee without her asking. He defended her. When people whispered about her in class, he leaned in close and whispered dumb things in her ear that made her laugh when she wanted to cry. And the worst part? He never posted any of it online. No show, no audience, just him, just them. One night, after a group hangout, Yeon-woo found herself waiting outside the convenience store, shivering slightly in the cold. Woo-bin came out, saw her hugging her arms, without a word. He pulled off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. She looked up. "You didn't have to." He shrugged. "Didn't say I did." That night she didn't sleep well because for the first time she wasn't thinking about Joon. By the end of the week, everyone was talking about how weirdly cute they were. Even the teachers stopped scolding. Woo-bin as often. He showed up on time, did his homework and sort of smiled more. And every time Yeon-woo looked at him, her stomach twisted, because this wasn't fake anymore, not for her, and maybe not for him either. She wanted to tell him, but the moment never came. Instead, she found herself staring at her phone again. Joon had messaged again, "Let's talk." She didn't reply right away. Instead, she walked to the rooftop where Woo-bin usually hid during breaks. He wasn't there, but she sat anyway, thinking, breathing, wondering what she'd just gotten herself into, because the plan was simple: pretend, make him jealous, feel better. But now she wasn't sure who she was pretending for, or if she was pretending at all. In another part of the school, Woo-bin stood at the vending machines, staring at the reflection in the glass. He didn't know when it had happened, but somewhere between fake fights and fake laughs, he started wanting it to be real, and that scared the hell out of him, because fake relationships end and real ones break, especially when you fall for someone who's still watching her past walk by. He punched the vending machine too hard. Didn't I even want the soda anymore? Back in the hallway, Yeon-woo typed slowly, "Okay, let's talk." She didn't know what she was doing, but she told herself it was just closure. She owed herself that, right? She didn't see Woo-bin watching from the stairs, didn't see the look in his eyes, didn't see the way his fingers curled into fists, because when the heart starts believing something is real, even the smallest doubt feels like betrayal. They were supposed to be acting. That was the rule. But somewhere between the fake fights and planned makeouts, something shifted. It started small, a staged argument in the middle of the cafeteria that ended in them cracking up because Woo-bin accidentally knocked over a tray of kimchi. They were supposed to storm off dramatically. Instead, they were both red-faced from laughing so hard, cleaning rice off each other's sleeves. Yeon-woo couldn't stop smiling. Neither could he. Then came the fake breakup scene in the courtyard. They were standing under the cherry blossom tree when Woo-bin raised his voice on purpose. "You never." "Listen to me," she gasped, hand to chest. "Well, maybe you're not worth listening to." A few students started watching. Someone pulled out a phone, but instead of storming off, Woo-bin leaned in, grinned, and whispered, "You're terrible at acting." She rolled her eyes. "You were way too dramatic." He smirked. "Want to try?" "A fake makeup kiss next." She blushed, but didn't say no. Later that day in the hallway, they did just that. He pressed her gently against the lockers, hands to the sides of her face. Their noses almost touched. She could feel his breath, could hear the rush of students stopping to stare. She closed her eyes, only to have him whisper, "Gotcha," and pull away with a wink. She shoved his shoulder, laughing nervously, but her heart was thumping way too fast for a joke. Every day, their dates became more creative. Bowling alley disasters, spontaneous karaoke duets, a staged water balloon, fight during gym class, but the more they played, the less they had to try. They didn't need scripts anymore, they just clicked. One night after walking her home, Woo-bin lingered at her gate. Yeon-woo hugged herself, eyes on the floor. "So, tomorrow," she said. "Yeah," he nodded but didn't move. She looked up. "What?" His voice was quiet. "I don't like sharing." She blinked. "Sharing what?" He hesitated, then added, "Your laughs, your smiles, that look you get when you're about to say something smart but pretend it's dumb." Her lips parted. She didn't know what to say, so she said nothing, and he left. But that night she wrote it down in her notebook. "He doesn't like sharing me, but I don't want to be shared either." Meanwhile, Joon was getting restless. Every time he saw them, his face tightened. He had dated Yeon-woo for nearly a year, and yet he had never seen her smile the way she did around Woo-bin. He texted, "Again. You sure this is real? Or is he just a distraction?" She stared at the message for 10 minutes, then deleted it. No reply. The next day, Woo-bin surprised her after school with an umbrella. "I heard rain," he said, holding it over her. She smiled, "Thanks." As they walked, she noticed something. He never tried to hold her hand unless she reached first, never posted her on social media, never told anyone what they were doing, and yet he was always there. That night, her little brother asked, "Uni, is that the guy who makes you laugh now?" She blinked. "Yeah, then you should keep him." But things weren't that simple, not in their world. One Saturday, they had a fake double date planned with some friends, theme park, group pictures, pretend jealousy. It was all in the plan, until Yeon-woo spotted Joon watching from a distance. Woo-bin noticed too, and for the first time, he didn't smirk. He looked at her, waiting, testing. Yeon-woo hesitated, then, out of impulse, grabbed Woo-bin's hand. His expression didn't change, but his fingers curled tighter around hers, like he needed that confirmation more than she did. Later that night, while waiting for a ride, Woo-bin sat beside her on the bench. She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Do you think it's wrong?" He glanced at her. "What?" This, all of it. He was quiet for a long time, then said, "It's only wrong if it ends in lies." She lifted her head, looked at him. "Would you hate me if it did?" He looked straight at her. "I think I'd hate myself more." The silence between them was different now. Not awkward, not tense, just heavy with things they weren't saying, because the game had changed. They weren't pretending anymore, they were just too scared to admit it. Monday morning, something shifted again. Joon stood outside her classroom door during break. Waited. When she walked out, he pulled her aside. "You still love me?" The question felt like a slap. She didn't answer. Not immediately. Woo-bin saw from down the hall. Stopped. Frozen. Joon stepped closer. "I messed up, I know, but I miss you." She opened her mouth, then saw Woo-bin turn and walk away. Didn't say a word, didn't look back. Her stomach dropped. She pushed Joon gently aside and chased after him, but he was already gone. That afternoon, she waited on the rooftop. He didn't come. She texted, he didn't reply. She stood in the rain for 20 minutes holding his umbrella. He never showed, and for the first time since this whole thing began, she didn't know who she was pretending for anymore, or what she'd just lost. The moment should have felt like a victory. Joon stood in front of Song Yeon-woo, hands in his pockets, eyes soft, the kind of soft she used to melt for. "Come back," he said quietly. "I miss you." Her heart thudded, not from excitement, but confusion. She looked over his shoulder, hoping, praying. But Woo-bin wasn't there. Joon stepped closer. "You don't have to answer now. I just needed to say it." He left her there, standing alone under the cherry blossom tree where he first kissed her last spring. Only this time, she wasn't the same girl, and someone else had kissed her under those petals. She walked to the rooftop, again empty, checked her phone, no new messages. The silence hurt more than anything Joon could say. Later that afternoon, she saw Woo-bin outside the gym. He was laughing with his teammates, but his smile was off. When their eyes met, his expression changed instantly. She walked over. He didn't move. "Hey," she said. His reply was flat. "Did you say yes?" She blinked. "To what?" "To your Prince Charming, or were you waiting for my permission?" His words sliced through her. "That's not fair," she whispered. He shrugged. "Neither was being your emotional rebound." Her mouth opened in protest, but he cut her off. "I should have known. You always looked past me." "Woo-bin, don't." He walked past her, shoulder brushing hers without stopping. She turned to follow him, but someone grabbed her wrist. "Joon, don't waste your tears on him," he said. "You deserve better." She pulled away slowly, and for the first time, she didn't know who she believed. That night, Woo-bin didn't answer her calls, didn't show up at their usual spots, didn't leave so much as a sarcastic message. He had disappeared, and Yeon-woo felt it like a physical wound. At school the next day, Joon was waiting with her favorite drink. People were whispering again, just like old times, except now her heart didn't flutter. It ached. During lunch, Joon sat beside her. "So, us again?" he asked. She didn't respond right away. Didn't say yes, but she didn't say no either, and that silence was enough for Woo-bin, who watched from across the cafeteria. He stood up, walked out without touching his food. Yeon-woo's eyes followed. Joon noticed. "You still like him," she hesitated. "I don't know what I feel," he scoffed. "You're not supposed to overthink love, Yeon-woo." She didn't reply because for once she was, and it was tearing her apart. That evening she stood in front of Woo-bin's house. It was getting dark. She hadn't even realized she'd walked there. When he finally opened the door, his expression was unreadable. "What do you want?" She stepped forward. "I want to talk." He leaned against the doorframe. "About what? Your next plan? Your next target?" "Stop it. No, you stop." His voice cracked. "I was falling for you. And you..." She stepped closer. "And I didn't know I was falling for you too until I ruined it." He flinched. "You really did." She looked down, then offered the small keychain he once gave her, a joke prize from the arcade they visited during a fake date. "I kept this." He stared at it, didn't take it. "I'm not a prize you win, Yeon-woo." "I know. Then why'd you treat me like one?" She swallowed hard. "Because I thought I could control it. I thought pretending would protect me." He looked at her, pained. Did you ever mean any of it? She paused. I meant every moment I didn't plan. That broke something in him. He closed the door gently, but final. She stood there for a long time, then turned and walked home, alone. The next few days were a blur. Joon stayed close, offered smiles, gifts, memories, but nothing reached her, because the boy she wanted to reach had already disappeared. In class, Woo-bin stopped sitting near her. In gym, he didn't look her way once. She tried to catch his eye, he never let her. The pain settled into her chest like a second heartbeat. One night, her younger cousin asked her a simple question. Unni, are you sad because the pretty boy doesn't love you anymore? She froze, then asked, which one do you mean? The child blinked. The one who gave you the jacket, the one who made you laugh. That night, Yeon-woo stared at herself in the mirror. No makeup, no jewelry, no polished smile, just her. And she realized she didn't want love because it made her feel important. She wanted it because she didn't know how to feel enough on her own, and that had to change, but first, she had to make something right. He avoided her for 3 days straight. Not a glance, not a word, not a sign. Song Yeon-woo sat at her desk, surrounded by noise but drowning in silence. And Jung Woo-bin? He was everywhere except where she needed him. She tried again at lunch. Found him near the vending machines behind the gym. He was alone, kicking a soda can across the concrete. Woo-bin, she said softly. He didn't turn around. I know you're mad. He cut her off. Mad? He turned slowly, eyes dark, voice low. I'm not mad, I'm humiliated. She stepped back slightly. I didn't mean, he laughed once. Bitter. You didn't mean to lead me on, or you didn't mean to let him back in the second he smiled. At you. That's not what happened. No, because it looked like you were right where he wanted you. Her lips trembled. I hesitated. I was scared. That's not the same as choosing him. But it's not choosing me either. The silence after that hit harder than anything. She tried to close the distance, reaching for his hand. He pulled away. You know what hurts the most, he whispered. I started to believe it. She blinked. Believe what? That I could be enough. For someone like you. She opened her mouth, but she had no words that could fix the crack she'd caused. So he turned around, walked off, didn't look back, and this time she didn't follow, because she knew it was over. That night, she sat on her bed with a photo strip from their fake date at the arcade. 4 pictures. 2 people laughing like nothing could ever break them. She stared at the last one, the one where he kissed her cheek when no one was looking. No crowd. No cameras. Just them. And she finally saw it for what it was. Real tears fell silently. For the first time, she wasn't crying over Joon. At school the next day, Joon walked beside her like always. Are you okay? She nodded automatically. You're lying. She stopped walking, turned to face him. Joon, yeah? I used you too. He tilted his head, confused. I thought I needed to make you jealous to feel wanted again, she said. But I was just avoiding the truth. Which is, I was the one who left something real. He didn't smile, didn't argue, just nodded once and walked away. At home, her little brother asked, did the boy who made you laugh leave? She nodded. Will he come back? She hesitated, then whispered, I hope so. The next day she saw him, on the basketball court, sweating, focused, fierce. He didn't look at her once, didn't need to. She felt everything from across the court, and that's when she knew. She had to fight. For once in her life, not to be loved, but to love on purpose. So she waited for his next practice, watched from the sidelines, and when the whistle blew for water break, she stood, walked across the court, every eye followed her, but she didn't stop. She climbed the bleachers, turned to face him, and shouted, Jung Woo-bin! His head snapped up. The entire gym fell silent. I used to think I needed someone to love me, so I could love myself, she said, voice trembling. But then you showed me what it feels like to be seen without filters. He froze, water bottle half raised. I messed up. I hesitated. I broke something I didn't know I'd miss until it was gone. She stepped down the bleachers slowly. Voice Clearer now, I can't promise I won't be scared again, but I'm not pretending anymore. He dropped the bottle, took a step forward. I choose you, she said. For real. For me. For you. He crossed the court in 5 long strides. Didn't say a word, just pulled her into his arms and kissed her right there, in front of everyone. No plan, no script, just them. And the gym erupted. Somewhere in the crowd, Namjoon clapped once, then left, quietly, alone. Later, as they sat on the rooftop sharing a convenience store sandwich, Woo-bin looked at her. You know, he said, you're a terrible actress. She nudged him. Shut up. He grinned. But a pretty decent girlfriend. She rolled her eyes. But her smile said it all. And for once they didn't need to fake anything. Not the laughter, not the silence, not the feeling of finally being chosen. For the right reasons. The gym was packed. The final basketball practice before the big match had turned into a full house event, with students filling the bleachers to watch the team warm up. But Yeon-woo wasn't there to watch. She was there to fight. One last time. For him. For them. From the hallway, she could already hear the echo of sneakers on polished wood, the sound of the coach's whistle cutting through the noise. Her heart pounded in her chest. She could still walk away. She could still pretend nothing had changed. But that was the old Yeon-woo, the one who only moved when someone else pulled the strings. Now she walked in alone, straight through the crowd. Eyes followed her, whispers rising like waves behind her. She's here. Isn't that the girl who— Wait, what's she doing? She didn't stop, not until she reached the edge of the court. The players paused, confused. Coach Min tried to wave her off, but then Woo-bin saw her, and everything stopped. She stepped onto the court, one slow step after another, every eye on her. And then she shouted, "This time it's not pretend." The gym fell silent. She swallowed hard, voice louder now, chest rising. I'm not here to make anyone jealous. I'm not here to win someone back. I'm here because I realized— She looked straight at him, tears welling up, but her voice steady. I don't want anyone else. I don't need anyone else. Why, step closer. I choose you. Step closer. For real, step closer. For me, final step. For you. The whole court held its breath. Woo-bin stood frozen, the basketball still in his hands. He looked down at it, then dropped it, walked toward her. 2 steps. 3. And then he kissed her. Not like the other kisses. Not like the ones they staged for an audience. This one was real. Messy. Honest. Desperate. Hopeful. Like everything they'd been holding back finally crashed through at once. When they pulled apart, the gym erupted, cheers, whistles, screams, but Yeon-woo only heard him. You're insane, he said. She laughed through her tears. I know, he smirked. Good. You'll need to be, if you're choosing me. She cupped his cheek. I'm not choosing you to fix me. I'm choosing you because you saw me when I didn't even see myself. His eyes softened. You weren't invisible. You were just waiting for someone who actually looked. They sat together after practice, sharing a bottle of banana milk and ignoring everyone. Her head on his shoulder, his hand around hers. And for the first time, nothing felt like a performance. Meanwhile, outside the gym, Namjoon stood alone. Hands in his pockets, watching through the small window in the door. Someone bumped into him. You okay? He forced a smile. Yeah, but he wasn't, because he realized too late that what he lost wasn't someone perfect. It was someone real. Back in the gym, Woo-bin whispered something in Yeon-woo's ear. She giggled. What? He smirked. You? We're supposed to be fake dating me. How dare you turn it into something real? She raised an eyebrow. You're the one who gave me your jacket. You're the one who laughed at my dumb jokes. You let me see the real you. He looked at her seriously now. And I liked what I saw. She smiled. I liked what I saw too. Later that week, the entire school buzzed with their story. Not because it was dramatic, not because it was messy, but because it felt true. And everyone wanted to believe that even the most fake beginnings could end in something real. In a final act of closure, Yeon-woo deleted her old messages from Namjoon. She didn't need them anymore, because she wasn't looking for someone to want her back. She was walking beside someone who chose her first, and chose her again, even when it hurt. On the rooftop, Woo-bin leaned back, arms behind his head. "You think this is gonna last?" he asked. Yeon-woo looked at him, sunlight hitting his face just right. "I think it already has. No lies. No games, just two people who stopped pretending and started living together."